What's going on, everybody? Mike 66 here. So this is going to be part 2 of how to ride a motorcycle. So in part 1 we went over all the basic controls of your bike, everything you need to look for, check whether you're buying it used. If it's new, you still need to check them, but probably not as important when you first buy it. But if you're buying something that's pre-owned, yes, check that stuff over, and just your daily checks. So right now we're actually going to get into how to actually start riding your motorcycle, getting you familiar with your bike's weight, how it feels, how your clutch reacts, where your friction point is. And we're just going to go through this entire thing. You know, as you can see, I'm in a parking lot right now, which is where I actually recommend you doing this if you want to try to actually get comfortable with your motorcycle. I know I'm looking squid right now, but I got gear. I don't want people coming into the comments yelling I'm a squid, because I'm not going to go out riding right now, doing this in the parking lot. So I'm not going to get into all the details of like how to start your bike. If you want to go look that over, you know, just go back to my first video, part 1. So right now we're just going to get into the basics of, you know, starting to ride your motorcycle. So say you bought your motorcycle, all right, you've got all the controls figured out. Now we're actually going to get into like getting yourself familiar on the bike. So what I want you guys to do is obviously mount the bike. You're gonna have your kickstand. You want to mount it from this side. You want to get a nice seat, get your foot right where that rear brake is, get it nice and comfortable to where if you push your foot down, you can press that rear brake. All right, so what I want you to do after that is grab both handlebars, tilt your bike up. All right, now if your bike is of adequate size, you should be able to flat foot it. So flat foot here, flat foot here. You know, if you're part of that short group of people, you might be on your tippy toes. Hey, that's fine, ain't no one judging here. All right, just get yourself comfortable on it. If you are too short and it does not, you know, you can't flat foot it with both feet, you know, you might have to get a smaller bike. I'm sorry, but if you're really adamant about getting a bigger bike than you can't flat foot, then what I want you to do is have one foot on the ground, like so. It's going to be the foot on the left side. Your right side should be on that rear brake. That is going to keep the bike from rolling. All right, so you're flat footed, right? I want to make sure kickstand's up. So what I want you guys to do first is just grab both handlebars, and I want you to just walk with your bike. All right, so I got my Insta360 going on right now. So what it's going to do is it's going to show 2 different angles so you get an idea of what it's supposed to look like, what I'm talking about. So what I want you to do is literally just grab it, and I want you to walk. Just sit on the bike and just power, and just use your feet, use your own power, and walk. All right, that's all I want you to do, just to start with. All right, get you a feel for the bike, see how much weight it has, and so on and so forth. All right, you know, and if you need to turn around, well, just turn your handlebars, look in the direction that you're turning, and just walk. All right, look in the direction that you're turning. And if you want to stop, well, use your feet to stop. Or if it's, you know, too much weight for you, go ahead and apply some pressure to that front brake, and you'll come to a stop. All right, I'm going to do this one more time so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about, and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, so again, grip your handlebars, sit on your seat, and then just walk. Again, you're just walking. See what I mean? I'm not doing anything. There's bike's not on. I am literally just walking my bike. Okay, that's all we're doing. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. And again, if you're making a turn, look in the direction that you're wanting to turn and keep walking. All right, and again, when you want to come to a stop, use your feet to stop yourself, or, you know, apply a little bit of that front brake pressure. Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. Go ahead and practice that as many times as you want before you feel comfortable, and then hit that play button, we'll go move on to the next part. Okay, now that we got that done, we're gonna start the bike. All right, you don't know how to start the bike? Well, just watch this and you kind of get an idea, or go back to my first video. So bike's on, kill switch is off, starting the bike. All right, your bike is now started. So this is a very important lesson. If you guys are nervous about your bike, you know, you don't want it to take off while you're on it, this right here, the clutch, that is your best friend. All right, if that bike is starting to take off, grab that full clutch and hold on. All right, there is nothing wrong with that, because if that bike's starting to take off and you're getting scared and you don't know how to stop, grab that clutch, squeeze that clutch in, and then you're going to do progressive braking, which is literally grabbing your front and rear brakes and gently squeezing. Don't fucking just yank onto it, because you're going to high-side yourself. You want to progress it, you want to start applying brake pressure, but gradually increase the amount of pressure that you're applying to the brakes until you come to a complete stop. And like I said, when you're grabbing that clutch right there, that bike's dead. It doesn't matter if you're first gear, second gear, fourth gear. I can push the bike right now under my own power. It don't matter how much I twist that throttle, that bike's not taking off on me. All right, so what we're gonna do now is gonna do one more power walk with your bike on. So that way, if you accidentally squeeze the throttle or twist the throttle, sorry, you know, you kind of get an idea of how you're, you know, if you're twisting too much one thing, you're not gonna be able to tell what's off. So I'm not gonna do it, but that's what I want you to do. Just do one walking lap, couple walking laps with your bike on, and if you accidentally rev it, that's fine. It ain't a big deal. Now, for the next people, we're gonna actually put it into gear and we're gonna power walk. We're gonna let the bike carry us while we're walking, okay? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna squeeze in your clutch a little bit. You're gonna hold that front brake. Hold that front brake, just hold it, and you're gonna shift it into first gear, all right? Now, your bike may be different depending on the type of shifter it has. So, if you know what type of shifter it has, what's first gear, shift it in first gear. Okay, so now, I want you to release the front brake. So now, I'm still flat footing, first gear, and what I want you to do, while holding both handlebars, is slowly release your clutch. You know, you're gonna start feeling, once you get to the friction zone on your clutch, you're gonna feel that bike wanting to start take off, like right there. Right there from my bike is where that friction zone hits, and it wants to start taking off. As you can see, like, I'm not giving it any throttle. It wants to automatically start taking off, all right? That's when you know. You just play around with it, find your friction zone, okay? So now, without touching any throttle, I want you to power walk. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be mostly using the clutch on this, all right? You can play around with the clutch on this. You can ride the clutch on motorcycles and you ain't gonna hurt it. They're designed for that. They're designed to handle that. And what we're gonna be doing is using this front brake to slow us down, all right? So we're gonna do it like this. Start letting yourself go, and you're just gonna power walk it, all right? Let the bike carry you, you're just gonna walk with it, all right? Again, play with that clutch, all right? Play with that clutch, because you can control the speed. If you're going too fast, so say for example, you're going too fast, you're getting scared, oh crap, grab in that clutch, squeeze the brake a little bit, slow yourself down, okay? All right, so again, release the clutch a little bit, find that friction point, and just walk with your bike. You're gonna make a turn your head in the direction that you're going. Keep playing with that clutch, keep power walking, all right? Again, if the bike's if you're feeling a little more confident in the bike, all right, you know, take longer strides. Let it carry you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to get a little ahead. All right, just go until you're comfortable. That's all we're doing here. Okay, we're gonna go, turn in the direction that you wanted to look. Keep your eyes on the ground a little bit, and keep your eyes ahead. And then come to a stop, squeeze in the clutch, apply the front brake slowly. Hold that front brake, and then I want you to shift yourself into neutral. So now your bike's in neutral. You'll know it's in neutral because you'll get a giant green N. That's neutral. Your bike ain't gonna move. So I want you guys to repeat that, keep doing that multiple times until you feel comfortable with that bike's power, where your friction zone is, and applying your brake pressure. All right, don't yank on it because you're gonna feel that bike. That bike's gonna go like this, and you're gonna boop, and you're gonna fall over and tip. All right. So you go around, do that a couple of times. If you don't have a parking lot, then you know cul-de-sacs are nice, or really empty roads that you have no chance of killing yourself or getting hit by oncoming traffic. Please don't go trying to do this stuff in the middle of the road. All right, so go ahead, do that a few times until you feel comfortable. Pause the video right here and just do that until you're comfortable. All right, come back to this and move on to the next part when you're ready. All right, this is no rush. I want you guys to be able to ride motorcycles confidently and effectively without fear that you're going to screw something up. Bikes are always nervous at first. Trust me, when I had my first bike, I dropped the clutch full throttle. I let that thing wheelied and almost took out a fence in a car. It happens. First time riding, I got on a 636. You know, I wish I had someone to teach me how to ride a motorcycle. So, like I said, pause it right here, do a few laps, and we'll go back into the next portion of this. All right, so if you're here this far into the video, then I'm going to assume that you're confident in being able to slowly ride your bike around. Maybe not out on the streets yet. We'll do that in part 3, where we ride around town and I point out all the dangers and so on and so forth. So right now we're actually going to get to riding your bike. So again, have an open up area. We're not going to be getting out of first gear We're not going to be getting out of first gear. We might go into second, depending on, you know, what we got going on. All right. So, again, apply some front brake pressure. Squeeze your clutch. Put yourself in gear, first gear, and then release that front brake, keeping both feet planted on the ground. And then what I want you to do is the moment you let off your clutch and your bike starts taking off, I want you to put both feet on your pegs. And all we're going to do is be working the clutch, letting the bike carry you. All right, you might have to apply a little bit of throttle. That's fine. All right, it's a very, very fine amount of throttle that you need to keep the bike going in first gear, especially if you're just coasting. It does not take a whole lot. All right. First and second gears are really torquey. You're going to really feel that power because it's going to want to go. All right. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. All right. So slowly let off the clutch. Let the bike carry you. All right. You don't even have to use the throttle at all. You can just play with the clutch and let it carry you under its own power. If it starts going too slow, well, give it a little throttle. Give it a little throttle. Just a little twist. All right. And I just want you to ride straight, and then when we're stopping, you press that rear brake on your right foot and the front brake at the same time. That's progressive braking. All right. Slow down. You start applying the brake pressure, and you increase it slowly and gradually until you come to a complete stop. And then when you come to a complete stop, drop your leg that's on your clutch side. That's proper technique of coming to a complete stop, is dropping one foot down, which is your foot that controls your clutch. All right. So again, we're gonna power walk into a circle. All right. We're gonna power walk and look at the direction that you're going. Power walk, apply some front brake pressure, slow down. All right, we're gonna do it again this time. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Okay, so let off the clutch, let the bike start carrying you, full speed up, and just keep going. Keep your eyes on the road, keep the eyes straight ahead of you. Do not look down at your bike because it's gonna throw you off. If you need, just keep playing with that clutch, keep playing with the friction zone, you'll feel it. You know, and eventually your bike's just gonna carry its own power. I'm not using any throttle right now. All right, maybe right there I did, but your bike will literally carry itself. I'm not doing any throttle except for a little burst just to give myself enough speed. And you can practice that if you feel comfortable with it. If not, keep your hand on that clutch and just keep slowly messing with your throttle a little bit, little short bursts, very, very minuscule amount. And if you want to come to a stop, like I said, front rear brake at the same time, progressive braking, stop, left foot comes down. That's how you're going to stop. And if you want to shift into neutral, hold that front brake, shift the weight to your right foot, shift it into neutral, and you can release the clutch and your front brake because you got both feet planted on the ground. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. One more time. All right, get yourself set up. All right, so we're in neutral. Okay, front brake, clutch, shift into gear, slowly release the brake, slowly release the clutch, and let it carry you, both feet up, and just carry it. Play with that clutch a little bit. If you're confident and you don't need the clutch, well, now you can start playing with the throttle and just letting it go and carry you. All right, just keep going straight, focus on your target right in front of you, and just keep going. All right, and eventually you're going slow enough. It's going to feel scary at first. It's going to be really, you're going to think like you're going to tip over, but trust me, keep yourself ahead. All right, pull in the clutch, front and rear brake at the same time, progressive braking, left foot down, you're stopped. All right, do that a couple of times. That's probably going to be the one I want you guys to spend the most time on, because it's going to be the hardest. It's going to be the hardest for you to actually get down, because you might kill the bike a few times, you know, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a learning process for you to get comfortable on your own motorcycle so that you don't have to worry about this stuff. All right, so do that. Have a big enough parking lot if you can, and just practice going back and forth, playing with your clutch, finding that friction zone, playing with it, just little bits of throttle. All right, on this next part, we're going to practice shifting from first gear into second gear and actually applying throttle in speed and then coming to a brake. All right, now from the previous parts in this, you should be able to be comfortable in your braking skills and applying your clutch to completely disengage the bike so you can come to a stop safely and effectively. All right, so go ahead and pause it right here. Practice what we've been going over a few times. If it takes you all day, it takes you all day. I don't care. This video is meant for you to learn, because some people don't have teachers. And I want you guys to actually be able to learn. If you've never had a friend that rides a motorcycle, but you're curious about one, hey, that's the video for you. I want you to succeed. All right, so go ahead, hit pause, practice this, and then come back to it. All right, sweet. So we're gonna go into shifting. All right, so shifting is actually sort of tricky. If you drive manuals, it might be a little easy, but for some people that I've put on my bike and have taught that have driven manuals, they tell me all the time it is completely different than driving the manual. It's not the same. Even though they know how to shift, it is completely not the same. So I'm going for the first video, that last part. And I'll apply that front brake. Apply that front brake. Pull on the clutch. Shift into first. And now what I want you to do is, depending on how big of an area you got, I want you to shift into second gear and then come to a stop. All right, so we're gonna release the front brake, slowly let go of the clutch, give it some throttle, speed up. And what you're gonna do when you're shifting into second gear, I'm gonna ride around while we're doing this, is you're gonna pull in the clutch until you disengage, until you hit your friction zone. All right, so you'll feel that, you'll hear that, your bike will be, let's see if we can do it. Yeah, right here, right about here. That's my friction. That's where I disengage the clutch, is right there. So you're gonna want to play around with that while you're riding around. Find where your clutch disengages and you have no power to that bike. Okay? So, shifting into second gear. We're gonna go with the standard shifting. If you have a GP shifter, it's just reverse order. Alright? So, if you're in first gear, let me get a straightaway here. Okay, I'm gonna try to get as much angle as I can with for you guys on this one. All right, so we're going in first gear. What I want you to do is pull in the clutch, and you're gonna do one full shift up. Okay, full shift up. That's literally just pull your toe up as high as you can. All right, and you should shift it past neutral into second gear. Now you're in a higher gear, which means your bike's going to travel a lot faster. As you can see, I'm now going 11 miles an hour. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to stop the bike in second gear. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull in the clutch, front and rear brake at the same time, left foot down. Okay, but we're still in second gear, so that's an issue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold that front brake, I'm going to shift my right foot down, go to my clutch, and I'm going to shift it down to first, all right? And then I'm going to do a half click up to find neutral. Some bikes, older, you barely have to tap it down and you'll hit neutral. Again, if you have a bike like that, hey, glorious. All we got to do is just get the neutral. I'm doing this long way for everyone to just understand that this is a process. You can wing it from there. You can adjust it. You can tweak your little movements depending on how experienced or how comfortable you are with your bike. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. Now that I've gone over how to shift, we're just gonna practice that. All right. So front brake, clutch in, first gear, release the front brake. Slowly release the clutch, give it some throttle, speed up. If you're turning, look in the direction where you're turning. Keep going, keep going. All right, and now we're gonna give it some gas. Press the clutch, shift all the way up with your foot, which is literally just pulling it up. You're in second gear, just keep in second gear. All right, you got a big enough parking lot, just keep practicing your turns. I don't care how wide you make them, just as long as you're practicing your turns, okay? So we're just gonna keep going, just ride around in second gear. Just get familiar and comfortable with the bike, riding in second gear, all right? You know, all right, so you're going, you're making a turn, keep looking, making a turn. All right, say your bike's going too fast. Say you're giving it way too much throttle. Oh shit, oh shit. Grab that clutch, progressive braking, left foot down. All right? I'm in second gear, but notice how when I grab that clutch and I've squeezed it in, all power to the bike stopped. There's no power anymore. It was just coasting, and I had plenty of time to grab my front and rear brakes, slowly start squeezing them, and apply progressive overload or progressive braking to come to a safe stop. So, and then from there, all you want to do is just, if you're like, you know, if you want to go down to second gear or drop a gear while you're here, you press the freaking clutch down, and you're good. All right? Again, this is one of those crucial moments that you don't need to rush this. All right? This is not a rushing moment. Take your time with this. I do not care. Like I said, and I'll say it again, I want you guys to succeed, and I want you guys to be able to ride confidently on your motorcycle. Okay? So, that's going to be it for today. Hope that helps you guys at least getting started on your motorcycle. Probably the next part 3 is going to be working on turning, whether it be slow turns or just turning, how to properly turn. I know I went over it a little bit trying to tell you how to do turns, but we'll go into a little bit more in depth on that. It'll be a little bit shorter of a video, but you know, we'll get you there as far as how to do your turns, which way to look, where to look, and what not to do while you're doing slow turns. All right? Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, or you want to see some of my short videos of me just riding around town, all the crazy shenanigans that I get into, just interactions with the community in general. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's going to support the channel. It's going to help the channel grow, and I can start being able to eventually start putting out better content for y'all. So, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. Mike636. Y'all ride safe. One thing I would like to make a note of, and I can't believe I forgot this, I'm actually a horrible teacher. Before you even get a motorcycle, get yourself gear first. Get yourself some gear that fits. Get yourself a helmet that fits, that when you shake your head, it's moving with your head. It's not shaking loosely, all right? Get yourself some gloves. Get yourself a riding jacket. I'm riding like a squid right now. I don't want to hear it. But get yourself some leathers. I have, you know, get yourself some riding boots and maybe some riding pants. You know, get yourself gear, because there's a little saying that a lot of motorcyclists use. It's dress for the slide, not the ride. All right? At some point, it's basically saying at some point you're going to lay your bike down and you want to have the protection and the gear. I highly recommend getting a helmet, getting yourself test fitted a helmet. Go to your bike shop, get a helmet and test fit. You know, you want one that's not just DOT approved, but maybe even Snell or ECE. You know, it doesn't have to be some like $900 helmet, but it needs to be safe. I would recommend going full helmet, nothing modular, nothing half face, because you know, you wreck the modular ones, the ones that can open up and close into a full face. Those got weak points. So if you took a very hard hit, it's not gonna be very strong protection as compared to a full faced visor, or not visor, but full faced helmet. Okay, buy your gear, buy your jacket, buy your motorcycle shop. You know, go to a motorcycle shop and let them know, hey, you're interested in buying a motorcycle, you want to get the gear, and get yourself fitted with gear. Gloves protect your hands from debris, rocks getting thrown up. You know, if you slide and hurt yourself, you know, they're going to protect your hands. A vest is going to protect your body for the most part. You know, when you're sliding or you impact something, it's going to protect you. It's going to take the brunt of the abrasion from the asphalt or wherever you fell. You're still going to get roughed up a little bit, but it's going to be a lot worse if you do not have gear. Okay? Riding pants and riding boots are the same thing. You know, you want to wear pants that are long enough, fire resistance, not baggy like mine, because you could possibly catch on the chain. I'm going to probably regret that at some point. And boots and your shoes, you want something that covers your ankles. You know, riding boots usually go pretty much about mid-calf, and they're great protections. You'll see other motorcycle channels talking about gear, what's best for gear as far as riding goes, and they all kinds of recommendations. I'm just going to say, just go with something that's going to protect you. All right? I'm wearing some pretty high ankle shoes right now. That's because it protects me from the heat and stuff like that that generates from my bike. So go get yourself proper gear. That is the biggest thing I can honestly get at, is get yourself gear. Because All it takes is one crash to ruin everything. You can have skin grafts, you can just lose your life. You don't ride without a helmet, you're gonna lose your life. Like, that's just it, you know. And the bike's gonna kill you. Like, being on a motorcycle can potentially kill you. All right, even if you're in full gear. But you reduce the chances of life-threatening injuries by having gear on, especially a helmet. Like, helmets reduce a lot of instant death experiences. Like, I think there's a statistic out there that people without helmets, you know, pretty much died in almost every accident, whereas people that had helmets, the injury to a head, whether it's a concussion or a traumatic brain injury, was significantly reduced to where, like, only maybe 19 people, if not severely less. I could be very wrong with that number. It's just a very small percentage of people that wear helmets and wear gear are severely injured. Okay? So, all right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. So, until next time.